Wow, it is August 14th. That's crazy. Huh. Dang. Okay, well, hello everybody. Um, yeah, pretty much time is going way too fast. So, yeah, that's that. Um, we had a good week this week. The beginning of the week was kind of sad and bittersweet. Elder Kaiser and Elder King went home on Tuesday, but they left down to the mission home last Monday. Does not feel like it's been a week since that happened, but I guess it has. So anyway, they left, and now our apartment's super quiet, and it's not as much of a party, but it's still good. Yeah, so Monday they left, and then Elder Walker and I became companions. And then let's see what else happened. So because of that, we took over my area and Elder Walker's area. So now we cover two areas. We have twice the amount of people that we need to work with. We don't have time to see everybody. It's crazy. Like, we're just like constantly running, trying to like make it to all of our appointments and stuff. And I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it's crazy trying to keep track of everybody. And yeah, so it's pretty intense. We actually have a baptism tomorrow, which is crazy. A guy named Primitivo. He's been being taught for a few months. Well, just like 2 or 3, maybe. He's in the other area, but he was kind of just like shaky. Like, he was interested, but he wasn't progressing like a ton. He came to church a couple times, and he's like in his 60s or 70s, has no teeth. Oh no, I didn't. He is super cool. But yeah, he wasn't really like super solid for baptism. But then like the last week and a half, 2 weeks ish, he's just progressed a ton, especially this last week. We met with him like every day because his date was for the 15th already, but they weren't planning on him making it. And then we taught him like every day this week, and he's progressed a ton. And he had his baptismal interview yesterday, and he passed, and he's ready to be baptized, and he's super excited. And so yeah, we have a baptism tomorrow. So that'll be cool. Primitivo's a pretty sweet dude. He's got no teeth, and his tongue is kind of out of control. He's trying to keep it in his mouth all the time. It's pretty funny actually to watch while we're teaching him. But he's super cool. He loves learning about the gospel, and his wife passed away about 20 months ago. And so we talked to him about baptisms for the dead. We brought a member with us, and he talked to him about like the temple and stuff and what goes on, and baptisms for the dead. And he really wants to have someone do his wife's baptism. And we told him about how they can be sealed in like a year after he gets baptized, and that just like his face lit up, and he was like just even more happy. It's super cool to watch him. Like, the more he learns, just the happier he gets. And he wasn't like necessarily unhappy before, I guess, but he wasn't like the happiest dude ever. Like, he would just kind of be like moping around a little bit, just kind of not depressed, but not super upbeat and excited. But now, like, as he's been learning, especially this last week, even from the beginning of the week to the end, he's changed a ton. It's been really cool to watch. I think that's probably my favorite part about being a missionary, is just being able to see the change in people that the gospel makes. Like a physical change. It's crazy. Like, at the beginning of the week, he was a happy guy, and he was just kind of alright. But then, now by the end, he's 100% ready for baptism, and like, he's just like glowing, and he's just smiling all the time, even though he doesn't have any teeth, and he's just lit up. And I think that's definitely my favorite part about missionary work, just being a missionary, being able to get to see a change in someone like that so often. Because even if someone doesn't get baptized, like, you teach them a lesson, and just from the beginning of the lesson to the end, you can see a change in them. Or even just a conversation with some random person on the street. You talk with them, and from the beginning of the conversation, they can act one way with you, and then by the end, they can act a completely different way, and it's all because of the Spirit softening their hearts and their minds and helping them to feel the truthfulness. And even if they don't recognize it necessarily at the beginning, it's still cool for us to be able to see that. So, yeah, that's kind of I've been thinking a lot about that this week. Well, these last few weeks, actually. But, yeah, so Primitivo's getting baptized. It was pretty cool. On Tuesday, we had exchanges with Elder Nielsen and Elder McClellan. Elder McClellan is a new missionary. He's only been out for a couple weeks. And so we go on exchanges. We go on exchanges with all new missionaries that are in their first transfer. So we went with them on Tuesday, and Elder McClellan came to our area with me. Elder McClellan is an English missionary, so he doesn't speak Spanish. But he came with me to our area, and we had a bunch of lessons in Spanish. Turns out we tried to set up a bunch in English, but a lot of them ended up being in Spanish just because of the way things worked out. And so he was able to participate a little bit. I would translate for him and kind of keep him up to speed throughout the lesson on what's going on. But with Primitivo, we taught him, and Elder McClellan, he was adding stuff, which was cool, because I told him before the lesson, I was like, hey, like, even though you might not be able to understand, if you feel prompted to say something, just let me know, and I can translate it. And he's like, okay, cool. And so he was like really trying to pay attention to the Spirit and just kind of like the way he was feeling throughout the lesson. He didn't understand any of it. He said he could pick out a couple words, but that's just like the main words that pretty much sound like English. So he was paying attention a lot, just trying to feel like for things that he could say, and he actually like contributed to the lesson quite a bit, which was really cool. And then afterwards, he said he was just blown away. He was like, dang, Elder, that was like the coolest experience of my life. He said that that was probably like the strongest that he's felt the Spirit like ever, which was pretty cool. Because for me it was like yeah, the Spirit was there, and I could feel it, but it wasn't like overpowering, you know. But for him it was, because he was understanding what was going on, but not by what was being said. It was just straight up by what he was feeling. So he really liked that. He thought it was really cool. And we talked a lot about how the gospel, like, no matter what language it's being taught in, or no matter what language is being spoken, you can feel the truthfulness no matter what. Even if you can't understand, you can feel it, which is super awesome. It reminds me of our recent convert one of the recent converts I was working with up in Omak, Jose Lopez, he did not understand a word of English, but at church, he was there every single Sunday, and he told us that even though he didn't understand anything, he knew he was supposed to be there because he felt good. I think that's so cool. So that was a cool experience with Elder McClellan. It's kind of cool for him to have that experience right at the beginning of his mission, to be able to like take that with him the rest of his mission and remember it. Also, we had another mini missionary with us this week. His name was Tanner Child. He's 16. He's in one of the English wards in the stake, and he came with us on Wednesday and Thursday. He's super cool. We actually helped him learn enough Spanish to bear his testimony in Spanish, and so he got to do that a couple times. He got to give away a couple Book of Mormons and bear his testimony about a lot of things throughout our lessons. And so he had a really cool experience too with us, and he said missionary work was kind of what he expected, but it was a little bit different, and he's more excited now for his mission. And he's only 16, so he has another 2 years, but that was cool to be able to be a part of that too, help him kind of see what it was really like. He had a ton of fun. He really loved it. And then he taught Primitivo with us as well, so he's going to come to his baptism tomorrow and see it. He's pretty excited. Pretty much the rest of the week, so Wednesday, Thursday, we were with Tanner, and then he was with us all day from 8 in the morning to 9 at night. Here's a funny story. So our ward mission leader has been out of town for about a month and a half, and he pretty much runs the whole ward. Like, without him, the ward falls apart, literally. This last month and a half has been crazy because he does a ton for the ward. So they've been gone for a long time, and we haven't really had like solid correlation meetings or anything, so we haven't had like a ton of help other than just like what we've been doing, like going through the ward and stuff, which is fine, but he makes it like a lot easier and a lot more effective. And so he's been gone for a long time, and we thought that he was supposed to be back on Thursday. So what we did was Thursday night, after we had correlation meeting just with us missionaries, and then we went over and to his house, and we decorated his door with like welcome home with like balloons and like streamers and stuff. We decorated it all sick, and then we came home, and then the next day we got a text from him, and he's like, hey, so he lives in the basement of his parents' house. He's married. He has a little kid. They're pretty newlywed-ish, but they're like going to school and stuff, and so they're just living in their basement. But anyway, so I guess like his dad sent him a picture of what we put on the door, and he texted us, and he was like, "Oh, hey, elders and sisters, thanks for like your welcome home thing. Sorry to tell you this, we won't be home until next Wednesday." And we were like, we got back to the States today, but we won't be back to Washington until Wednesday. And we were like, oh, dang it. Like, we just barely, we messed up. So we might go decorate it again, except on the inside. Go talk to his dad and see if we can go inside and decorate the inside for when they come home. So yeah, they're super cool. So we wanted to just do something cool for them. And we almost did it well, but we just missed the mark on it. And then yesterday at church we had 6 investigators come. No, 5. We had 5. We had Danya and Primitivo, and then the Reynosa family, which is another family that we're teaching, family of 4. They came to church, but only 3 of the Reynosas came. So there was 5 investigators at church yesterday. So it was cool. Danya's doing well. She's just progressing slowly. We're just trying to figure some things out with her. But she's loving coming to church. The ward loves her. The Relief Society is going to go on like a camping trip, and they want her to come, and she's tons of fun and stuff. So that'll be cool. That was our week this week. So I'm going to end this so it's not too long to send. So love you all and hope you have a good week.